If you thought the last one sounded scary, this one's going to sound a little tougher. What we're going to look at now is some custom code. Now, this is a little bit optional. We're not going to really use this in the build, but I wanted to point this stuff out to show you where this stuff lives and how you can actually start playing around with some of this stuff, because it really can extend what you do. And I will add some bonus content at the end of this course where we walk through some more advanced techniques. But this should be a good foundation of what you can and can't do with custom code. So let's jump into it. Take a look at creating custom styles and custom code in Oxygen. There are two places that we can do this. There is a custom code block and there is a way to create custom CSS. So let's start with the custom CSS. To get to that, you go to Manage, go down to Style Sheets, and by default, there are no global style sheets. You can click Add Style Sheet and give it a name, say Custom, click OK, and you can see now we have our new style sheet. You can add as many as you want. If you're doing lots of detailed sections that have custom CSS, you may want to create more so that it's organized and doesn't get too overwhelming. Let's say you are doing a whole section for WooCommerce, for example, you might create your own custom CSS there. You'll notice here as well that it's opened up our style sheet area. And rather than writing some code, I'm going to just paste some stuff from an app that I use quite often. So what I've got here is just some custom rollover code. It turns all links so that it has that easing in and out without needing to go in and add transitions on every one. So that's something that I use quite a lot. Let's grab something else as well here. If we go to this button expand here, this will do a similar effect to what I just did in the previous video on this link here, but it will add this to all of the other links. You'll see if I click save, I go to the front end here, I refresh, I go down here and you'll see that these buttons here have now got that custom rollover, and so does this one, without having to update the buttons each and every time. So that's a bit of an advantage for doing custom code. You can eliminate going in and doing some of these things on repeat and getting to some of these things, like for example in widgets that are hard to get to. Now let's go back here and look at creating a custom code block. So we'll get rid of this style sheet for a second, we'll get it out of the way by clicking on the page again. So let's find somewhere to put your custom code block. Now, in a lot of situations, you'll be doing a custom code for something specific in an area, and every now and again, you'll be doing custom code that doesn't really matter where you place it because it's for the whole page. So in this situation, I'm going to put this custom code down the very bottom. I'll click the body, I'll go add, and I'll go to code block. Click insert, and you can see down the bottom here, we've got a code block, and it gives us a few options. Got an area for PHP and HTML, and it has essentially hello world in there by default. If we go back to primary, you can see there is the CSS, has nothing in there. We go back to primary and it has an area for JavaScript. So let's copy and paste again something in there that I have already made, and we can see something working. Now, I've got a custom cursor here, so let's just copy and paste this in and we can have a quick look at how that works. We'll go back to primary, we'll put this in as our HTML. We'll go back, we'll get the CSS that's involved with this cursor. We'll paste this into the CSS, and then we'll go back and get some of this JavaScript. Go back to primary and paste in the JavaScript. And we can go apply code, hit save, and view this on the front end. You can see now that I've got this custom cursor that follows me around. And that's an example of what you can do with some custom code and where it actually lives and how you can edit the basics. Respect. You're still here. That's great. How did you find that? Not too bad? You see, custom code isn't that scary. But if it's not your cup of tea, don't worry. We're not going to be using any of that in the actual build together. I just wanted to give you guys a good foundation of what you can do and where to start. Like I said, there'll be some more bonus content with some actual specific examples at the end of this course. But let's click complete and keep moving it along.